What's up, everyone? Can everyone hear me all right? I'm about to start working on pretty much the last video from Sound and Fury, which is the XIBALBA set. If you can hear me, someone let me know. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right, 1 second. Mic check, mic check. All right, 1 second. All right, 1 second. Mic check. Is that better? Can you guys hear me better now? I'm turning up the volume and adjusting the mic a little bit more. Is that better? Can you guys? Is that better? Can you guys? Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's see. Let me turn this up a little bit more. How about now? Is that better? Cool. All right, I'm assuming it's good enough. If not, let me know. Anyway, I'm working on the last Sound and Fury video, which is XIBALBA. So today I posted West Point. We have Harness. Harness should be out tomorrow, as well as the XIBALBA set. So I finished working on Harness earlier this afternoon. So want to hammer out the XIBALBA set. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing these live streams on a regular basis. Some days I do it around like lunchtime. Today it's like dinner time. So one of these days I'll get into a consistent routine, but I'm not there yet. Cool. We only got like 9 people in here, which is roughly what I expected. So I'm just gonna get started. This is a 23-minute set. There were 5 camera angles running. So you're pretty much your standard. It's gonna be your standard edit. I'm just gonna tweet the link real quick, just so if anyone's not getting YouTube notifications, they can tune in. Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna get started. Again, this is a 23-minute set, so it should be pretty quick. Again, the general format of these live streams is I'm gonna sit here and literally watch all 5 camera angles, and I'm gonna cut between them. So this is my first time watching the set, so we're all in the same boat here. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm assuming it was a good set, so should be fun. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the chat, and intermittently while I'm editing, I'll pause and take a break and talk shit with you guys. So let's get started. All right, that was the first song. So we're about like 6 minutes in, 6.5 minutes. Footage is much darker, I guess. Obviously, XIBALBA tends to play with the lights dimmer, so this might be the darkest set I've seen from the Sound and Fury stuff. Last time I saw these guys was, I can tell you, it was in Philly, maybe last year. When was that? It was, I think, yeah. It was February 18th of 2017, so a little over a year ago. I don't think they've been back on the East Coast since then. So that's the last time I saw them. Corey's asking how much footage I have left from Sound and Fury. This is the last set. So I posted West Point today. Tomorrow Harness is gonna go up, and this set. This is well done. That's it. So oh, and Bent Life. So those three will be up. And that'll round things out for the Sound and Fury. My goal was to get everything done in May, and so tomorrow is technically the last day of May. So I'm gonna get all three out tomorrow, and then be done with it. And then gonna spend June working on some other stuff and go from there. So we got about 15 people in. If this is your first time, welcome. You're watching me edit videos in real time. The exciting world of editing hate5six videos. Just a quick little plug here. If you're a Patreon subscriber, I've basically created a heat map to show where in the world most of the support is coming from. So if you haven't heard, as of end of March, I'm trying to do hate5six full time, and I'm doing that via Patreon. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a way of pledging a certain dollar amount each month to content creators. So if you create podcasts or create anything, you can set up a Patreon and ask your viewers to support you monthly through recurring donations. So that's sort of my experiment. I'm trying to do hate5six full time so I can literally travel more to film bands all over that don't necessarily come to Philadelphia or come to my neck of the woods. And so I'm relying on Patreon subscribers to do that. And Patreon subscribers get a bunch of rewards in exchange for donations. They get early access to videos. They can actually go in here and vote for what videos they want to see next. So if you go to hate5six.com/vote, there's a list of all the videos that are that I have that are not released yet. So everything that's green, these are videos that I finished editing and they're ready for release. Videos that are red are ones that I'm still editing. But basically every day I'm turning more of these green as I finish them. But basically how it works is if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can go on here and you can actually vote for which videos you want to see next. So as you can see, for example, like this 25 to life set has 2 votes. This clear focus set has 4 votes. Another breath has 7 votes. And so how it works is every day the site will pick the videos with the most votes and post them, automatically release them to the public. So essentially Patreon, using Patreon is allowing me to democratize hate5six and allow you, the viewers, to determine what content is released every day. So again, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you have access to this and you can do it. I was curious to see where in the world most of the Patreon subscribers are located, so I created this heat map. This is anyone can look at this, so you can actually see what scenes are most represented. So obviously, I get a lot of support coming from the East Coast, which is where I'm located. I'm in Philadelphia, so I have a lot of my friends are supporting me, thankfully. So I got a lot of support in Philadelphia. Baltimore is pretty big. Some stuff scattered in the Midwest. Big support coming out of California, LA, Oakland, San Francisco area. Getting a bunch in Europe as well. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see where the support's coming from. I have about 704 Patreon subscribers right now. My plan is once I hit 1,000, my plan is to spend each month. I'll start traveling to different places in the world and start filming bands. I'll film any band, any small band, mid-sized band, big band that wants to be filmed. I will come and film you. But how it's going to work is I'm going to go to the places that have the most Patreon support. Well, I should say I'm going to go to the places first that have the most Patreon support. So basically the plan is to every month I'll more or less rank these different cities by where most of the support's coming from, and I'll give preference to those places in terms of traveling there next to shoot. So that's kind of where I'm at. So we need about 296 more subscribers before I kick that off, but I think that we'll hopefully reach that goal sooner than later. So that's that. Anyway, we're up to about 17 viewers, which is pretty cool. So let's keep going. Again, we're working on the last set from Sound and Fury, which is the XIBALBA set. We're about 6.5 minutes in, and let's see how far we can get. We should be able to finish this pretty quickly. I don't think it's going to take too long. And let's see how far we can get. We should be able to finish this pretty quickly.
This is a new song Admitting to my rights and to my wrongs. Yo soy el diablo. If you're not moving up here, stay your fucking hands. Hell yeah. Yo, make some noise for all the bands playing today. Yo, who's stoked for Sound and Fury? Hell yeah. Big ups to our friend Riley and to our bass player Martine for setting this shit up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yo, we got a couple songs left and then we're out of here. Like typical Chicanos, we're fucking late. Fuck you. Anyways, this is off the last record we put out. If you ever take something away from hardcore and punk rock, when I was young, I would read these lyrics over and over again. Understand what these bands are about, understand what they're saying, and don't just take it for face value. There's a lot of shit we have to say. That's always been the cool thing about punk rock and hardcore. That this is yours, and yours to do whatever you want to do with it, without judgment. This song is called Enemigo. And you never wish death on someone, you're fucking crazy. This motherfucker around! Everybody move! Go! 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 I'm
Cool. We're about 15 minutes in. Yeah. So Steven's pointing out how dark it is. This band is pure evil. I'm like, if you're watching me while I'm editing, I'm like trying not to smile too much because it's like, they're so fucking dark, and heavy, and that's why I love this band. So it's fitting that the lighting is so dim. Corey's asking about how all the audio and video sync together. So I've gone through this in previous live streams, but I can just go through it real quick. So what I do in Premiere, basically, let's find it here. So how it works is, essentially what I do is I drop all the footage in a single sequence. So this is so sequence 2 here has all the different camera angles. So this top track is the drum cam. Below that is stage right. Below that is the front of house. Below that is the balcony camera, and below that is the stage left shot. And then I have these 2 green tracks down here, which was the ambient mic and the soundboard feed. So typically what I do is I drop all of these assets into a sequence. And as you can see, like some of these clips are they're not continuous. So so naturally, so certain cameras will break up the file based on size or recording time. So you might get some individual clips here, but they concatenate together into a continuous shot. But sometimes you get discontinuous sequences because let's say someone's battery dies or they have to swap out a memory card. So there might be a gap between part of their file and the part of their recording and the next part of their same recording. So it can get pretty difficult. The longer the set and the more angles you have, it can become a pain in the ass to actually sync. So if it's a 1 camera shot and there's no breaks, it's pretty easy. You just sync at the beginning and it's more or less fine. But for something like this, where I have five camera angles and 2 separate audio sources, I use something called pluralize. So once all these elements are dropped into a sequence, I use this extension called pluralize, which will take any number of clips and it'll automatically sync them together. So basically you click synchronize, it'll run, it'll take a couple minutes, but it basically will produce this. And as you can see, it's readjusted everything. So it's moved everything over slightly, because obviously there's 5 different people operating the cameras. They're all going to start at different times. So Pluralize does a great job with shifting things over to where they need to be in order for everything to be in sync. So as you can see here, this let me disable these top 2 tracks. So for some reason the front of house camera, it starts at like the minute 18 mark and then it cuts off at like a minute 33. Yeah, it cuts off at a minute 33 and then it resumes at a minute 49. So Pluralize will automatically readjust everything. So it's if you're doing a lot of multicam editing with a lot of different camera angles and different sources, I highly suggest using it. It's a little pricey. I think I got it for $2.99 a couple years ago, or $1.99 a couple years ago, and then upgrading is $99 after that. And every year or two they release an update. So, I mean, I use it enough to make it worth it. But beyond that, you can do it by hand. It'll just take longer. But basically, what I do is once I have this sync sequence, I nest it. I basically bring it into another sequence here, which was sequence 1. So sequence 1 is basically I've taken sequence 2. I've literally dragged it. No, sorry. I take the sync sequence and I literally drag it into sequence 1. So it's basically a sequence within a sequence. And then what I do is you can right-click on the sequence and choose to enable the multi-camera. And that'll bring up this multicam monitor, which allows you to watch all camera angles simultaneously. And again, they're already synced because I've run Pluralize. So you basically got to sit through and watch it and do the cuts, and then you're good to go. Cool. So again, we're at about 15 minutes in. We have maybe I don't know, 8 minutes left. So let's just finish this off. This should be pretty quick. Maybe, I don't know, 8 minutes left.
I got 2 left. This song is for the oppressed. To all my people of color, to all my Latinos. Don't be afraid to scream, and don't be afraid to swing. We are the guerrilla. For 10 years, over 10 years. If anybody supported this band from the beginning to the end, and you, we are forever grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know it, up here, no serenity! talk to every generation of people.
All right, that was a pretty epic ending. I'm a big fan of the barking. Barking is always cool. Those last two songs are so fucking heavy. I really wish I could see this band more often. I think I've only seen them like maybe 5 or 6 times, but every single time is incredible. Yeah, it's funny. So the guy singing that everyone recognizes, that's Corey. So Corey's known for he was the guy doing the front flips during Vane at This Is Hardcore, where he was like landing on his back. So Corey's a very recognizable face. I would say Corey's up there. Scar from Hangman, the bassist of Hangman, he's in every video. He's the guy, tall guy where he wears a hat, mustache, and sunglasses. You'll see him a lot. Those are some of the most recognizable people in the video. So it's funny when people will call them out in public as recognizing, or even in like a YouTube comment, someone recognized Scar. It was someone was watching a Hangman video and was like, "That's the dude in all the videos." And it's like, yeah, so it's cool when that happens. Again, so this was the last set. Basically, what I'm going to do is either tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm going to go through this video one more time with like a fine-tooth comb and make sure all those cuts are good. But and then that's pretty much the first pass, which is what this was, is like probably the most time-consuming part. Well, maybe not. The second pass is usually the slower part, because I basically need to watch the video again straight through and then fine-tune all the transitions. So I'm probably going to get that done tomorrow for the last couple of videos, but the plan is to get these out tomorrow, and we'll be done with Sound and Fury. So that's about it. That's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in. One of these days, I'll make this a regular thing. I mean, ideally, I'll start working. I'll do these around lunchtime every day. I have stuff to work on. I just don't know how much of it. I'm trying to do stuff that people will find interesting. And usually the multicam stuff is more interesting than me working on single camera stuff. So we'll see. I got some other multicam stuff planned coming soon. So hopefully I'll have more shit to stream. One quick plug. On Friday, I'm dropping a new interview. So if you don't know, I started doing interviews with bands. That is another Patreon exclusive thing. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you have access to the full interviews. I do post a little teaser video of the interviews on YouTube, so you can get a sense if you actually want to watch the full thing. But I'm hoping in June, once I'm done the Sound and Fury stuff, I'm going to ramp up doing the interviews, so I'll have a lot more of that non-live show content to have on the Patreon feed. One last plug is the Discord channel. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you have access to this Discord server. Basically it's a private chat room where there's different channels where you can, there's a general banner where you can talk about bullshit, a channel where we can talk about new videos that I've put out, a channel for you to post other videos that are not hate5six but are still relevant, a channel to talk about new bands. You can ask, you can promote your new band, or you can promote your friends' bands here. A place to promote new record releases. A place to talk about records and vinyl and tapes, shirts, whatever you want. A place to talk about tech. A place to recommend new features you want to see on hate5six. A place to advertise upcoming shows. A place for memes. Probably the most active channel is the band recommendation channel. So here you can actually, so there's about 130 people on the Discord server. You can go in here. You can ask people to recommend you artists, or you can actually, if you're familiar with Sage is the hate5six band recommendation web app. You can actually, there's a bot in here. There's a Sage bot that you can actually talk to in real time, and within the chat get recommendations. So if you're on the Discord server, you can actually say, you can send a command which is like, and you can say like XIBALBA, and Sage will respond to you in the chat and make a recommendation for you. So if you say I like XIBALBA, Sage will respond saying you might enjoy Harm's Way, Eternal Sleep, No Zodiac, Venom Prison, Bent Life, Home Record, Brutality will Prevail, Jesus Peace, Knock Loose, Switching Tongues, blah 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 blah. So yeah. I'm hoping to build more of these like bots that will make it easier for people to find the information they want. But yeah, all of this is on the Discord server. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, even if you're at the $2 tier, you have access to this. So it's basically a modern day chat room. It's I feel like people are moving away from message boards. I don't know. I'm not really on that many. I kind of use Reddit here and there, but this is picking up here and there, so I'm hoping this will be in the long term a resource people like. The benefit is because it's sort of gated. It's gated. You can only get in if you're a Patreon subscriber, so it's gated in that sense. So the hope is that there's going to be less trolling, ideally, and less sort of bullshit because of that sort of paywall. But that's about it. I'm about to sign off. I'm probably going to go make dinner, but. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, these last few Santa Fury videos will be up tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, stay tuned. We got a lot of good shit coming up for the rest of the summer, and excited to see what people think. So have a good night, and I'll see you guys soon.